Welcome to another video in our IGCSE mathematics series. This time we're going to talk about solving linear equations, that is equations without squares in them. So the easiest kind of equations, I would say. I have a started problem for you here, so let's try to solve this. 5 minus 2y equals to 12. What do we do? Let me make it a bit larger. Like this, yeah. Okay, so to solve these equations, we can use balance method. So we can subtract 5 from both sides. Remember, equation, it works like a scale. So when we have something on one side, like let's say we have 5 minus 2y on one side, and we have 12 on the other side, right? If we subtract 5 from one side, the scale kind of goes down, yeah? And we have to balance the scale by also doing the same thing to the other side. Like this. So we subtract 5 from both sides, we will get minus 2y equals to 12. And now what we can do is we can divide both sides by minus 2. And we're going to get y equals to minus 6. So that's it, that's the answer, y equals to minus 6. Remember to know what to do first, like if you have a questions like should we divide by minus 2 first or should we subtract 5 first, remember you have to follow a reverse bit mass order. So normally, normally we start with brackets, we go to indices, stuff like that. So forget about it, do it in, don't forget about it, but in this case you have to do it in reverse. So one of the students told me that we probably should call it a SAM dip. I guess why not, right? So we follow the SAM dip. So we start with a subtraction addition, then we get to multiplication division. You see, so first of all we deal with subtraction and addition, then we get to division, and so on. Okay, let's take a look at more examples. I prepared a lot of examples for you guys today. All of them are from past papers. So yeah, let's practice. That's the best way to learn, is to practice stuff. This one is from Edexcel IGCSE paper. It's not the same as Cambridge IGCSE, but it's very similar. Again, it's one of the main British exam boards. They are all more or less follow the same standards. So let's try to figure this out. Okay, we have 6 times 3y plus 5 equals 39. Here there's actually 2 ways to go. Actually, like every time we do the equations, there's many ways to solve them. Okay, so I will show you both methods in this case. So here's the first method. We could open the brackets first. So we could open the brackets first. We would get 18y plus 30 equals to 39. And then we follow the normal kind of routine operations, right? We will get 18y equals to 9. Y would be equal to 9 over 18, which is the same as 1/2, okay? So that's the first way to do this. Another way to do this would be to get rid of 6, first of all, right? So what we can do is we can divide both sides by 6. So this way we can cancel it out, and we will get 3y plus 5 equals to 39 divided by 6 is 6.5. So then 3y, we subtract 5 from both sides, we get 3y equals 1.5. So y would be equal to 1.5 divided by 3, which is 0.5. The same thing as 1/2. So y equals to 1/2. Again, you can write either 1/2 or you can write 0.5. Both answers are absolutely fine, they're acceptable. So here it is. There's 2 methods, as you can see. So it looks like second method proved to be a bit more difficult in this case. But sometimes it can be easier. So again, guys, this is totally up to you. Both of these methods would work fine. So there's always many approaches to solve the equation. Okay. All right, so let's try something else. Let's try something a bit more difficult. Okay, so there's fractions here. That's already a bit more interesting. Let's try that. So equation with fractions requires a lot of attention. Oops. Here in the fractions, basically the main thing is you always have to kind of try and get rid of denominator as soon as possible. So that's my advice for you guys. Get rid of denominator as soon as possible. That's like when you have denominator in fractions. So in this case, what we can do is we can multiply both sides by 4 to cancel out the denominator. So we multiply both sides by 4, then we will cancel it here. We will get 3 minus 5m equals to 32. We can subtract 3 from both sides. We would get minus 5m equals to 29. Then m equals to 29 divided by minus 5, which would be equal to, what's it gonna be? Minus 5.8. Okay, I hope it makes sense to you guys. So again, I will go for this in detail. So we start here, we start with this, right? So 3 minus 5m over 4 equals to 8. And the first action, the first thing we do is we multiply both sides by 4. Right? Why do we do this? Because again, we want to get rid of denominator. And basically, what happens here is 3 minus 5m actually is divided by 4. Right? We show it like this, but basically this and this is the same thing. Right? It's basically just 3 minus 5m divided by 4. If we have a division, how do we get rid of division? We do the opposite of division, which is multiplication. So we multiply both sides by 4 to get rid of denominator, and we get 3 minus 5m equals to 32. Right? Then we can subtract 3 from both sides here. Minus 5m equals 29, and then we just divide both sides by, remember, we have to divide by minus 5, so not by 5, but by minus 5, because if we divide by 5, we will get minus m, and we don't need minus m, we don't need negative m, we need m, just m, nothing else. Okay, so again, the ultimate purpose of these all equations is to just kind of leave the letter alone, so we have to basically just everything away from letter, kind of chase out all the numbers away from it and leave it alone. Okay, so that's it for this one. Let's try something even more challenging. Okay, so word problem. So we got the word problems. Let's figure this out. It's always students' favorite, the word problems, but I'm sure you guys can manage it. So again, the first and most important hint for word problems is read them carefully, please. Right? Read them carefully. Don't skip anything. Try to find some keywords. Yeah, that's the key to solving the word problem. Just read it carefully. So Ellie is 5 years old. Bavara, I hope I'm reading it right, is twice as old as Ali. Ceres is 3 years younger than Ali. The total of their ages is 125 years. Work out the age of each person. Interesting. So here actually, we're already given the letter in here, which is a good thing, right? We know that Ali is X years old. Y. Ali is Y years old. Right? Bavara is twice as old as Ali. So twice means what? What kind of operation is this? It's times. right? So it's times 2. So for example, twice 5 is 10. 5 times 2 twice 10 is 20, and so on. So twice y is 2y. So Bavara's age is 2y, okay? And finally, Ceres is 3 years younger than Ali. So it's 3 years younger. It means that we have to subtract something, right? So for example, if I'm 5 and my brother is 3 years younger, what do? We do 5 minus 3. So when you try to construct these expressions for word problems, you have to think what's the operation I'm doing. So just think of some example, that the easy one, like for example, I'm 5 years old and my brother is 3 years younger than me, right? So how do we find the brother's age? You may think to yourself, okay, it's just 2, but the real question is, how did you get from 5 to 2? You subtracted 3, right? And this is the key action that we are kind of looking for. So Ceres is y minus 3 years old, okay? And we know that together, so the total of their ages is 125. So it means when we add it all together, so y plus 2y, so Ali plus Bavara plus Ceres plus y minus 3. So this is the total. And we know that the total is equal to 125. So y plus, so y, this is Ali's age, plus 2y plus y minus 3 equals to 125 years. That's it. So this is again the most difficult part, constructing the equation. I think solving the equation is quite easy, especially this kind of equation. There's nothing really daunting about it. So y plus 2y plus y, it's 4y. We get 4y here. 4y minus 3 equals 125. If we can add 3 to both sides. Oops, I'm running out of pages. Oh, we can add another one, not a problem. Okay, so 4y equals to 128. Then we can see that y would be equal to, so 128 divided by 4, 32. So y is equal to 32. And this is Ali's age. So Ali is y years old, so Ali is 32 years old. Bavara is twice as old, so that's 64. And then finally Ceres is 3 years younger than Ali, so that's 29 years old. That's it. That's it for this word problem. Okay, let's try something else. Let's look at the examples. Let me find some examples from the book. Maybe some more difficult equations. This one looks kind of difficult. Let's try this. So let's try this number 46. Let's try to figure it out together. So here we have 2x plus 1 minus x minus 1 over 3 equals 5 over 24. How can we solve this kind of stuff? Well, first of all, we have to add the fractions. So first step would be to add two fractions on the left. So we add these two fractions. We find common denominator, of course, like we always do. So here the common denominator is going to be 24, all right, for 8 and 3. So here we multiply this part by 3, and this part we multiply by 8. So we're going to have so 3 times this, and 3 times this, 8 times this, and 8 times this, and don't forget that there's a minus here on the front. Okay, so let's just write it first. So let's just write it like this. So we have we're gonna have 6x plus 3 over, my over looks ugly, 6x plus 3 over 24 minus 8x minus 8, right? So 8 times x is 8x. 8 times minus 1 is minus 8. 8x minus 8 over, again, 24 equals to 5 over 24. Okay, now again, a little bit kind of a tricky thing. I feel like some people would have questions about this, but like when we actually subtract them, just make sure that you guys keep the brackets before 8x minus 8. So when we kind of bring these two fractions together, make sure you have brackets here, you see? Because, why do we do this? Because there's a minus here, that's why. So when there's a minus, everything after the minus is going to change the sign. So 8x actually is going to become minus 8x. So we can have 6x plus 3 minus 8x, and minus 8 will become, you see, it will become a plus 8. So pay attention if you see the minus. I keep telling about this, but because I keep seeing this kind of mistakes on the tests, but please pay attention to the signs. Over 24 equals to 5 over 24. So here there's actually two things we can do. Again, there's like two ways to solve it. So 6x, yeah, first of all we can simplify it a little bit. So 6x minus 8x is minus 2x, plus 3 plus 8 is 11 together. So minus 2x plus 11 over 24 equals to 5 over 24. So when we have a fraction, like a single fraction on each side, not two fractions, okay? It's not going to work if there's two fractions, but if there's a single fraction on each side, what we can do is we can do a thing which is called cross multiply. Cross multiply. So a bottom of one side gets multiplied by top of the other side. That's basically how it works. And we're going to have 24. Remember, we can only do this when we have one fraction. Like we cannot do it here if we want to cross multiply here. No, this is not possible. We have to make this one fraction first. We have to add them together. So 24. So we multiply these two together and these two things together. So we're going to have 24 times minus 2x plus 11. And we're going to have equals to 24 times 5. So 24 times 5, we can already calculate it is going to be 120. Now we can, actually, do we need to open the brackets? No, we actually don't need to open the brackets. I think it's going to be better in this case to divide both sides by 24, like this, so that we can cancel it here. So we can have minus 2x plus 11 equals to 5, because 120 divided by 24 is 5, right? So equals to 5. So and now this is pretty simple. The rest is quite simple. So we just subtract 11 from both sides. We're going to get minus 2x equals to minus 6. Now we can divide by minus 2 both sides. We will get x is equal to 3. And that's basically it. That's it for linear equations. This last one is probably as hard as it gets, I would say. Maybe let's do another word problem for this topic. Let's do something from the book again. There's actually a good step-by-step explanation here. So how do we normally solve the problems? So actually, in most cases, I noticed in recent past papers from like 4 or 5 years, normally you will be given the quantity which is going to be x or y. Like the question will tell you, okay, this is x. But sometimes there are questions where you have to figure out, where you have to think by yourself, what is going to be your x. So that's the really difficult questions normally. And let's try and look at questions like this. Actually, yeah, let's just take some question. Okay, so number 20. Number 20, let's do it. Again, guys, remember, please, at any time, if you guys feel like you can work it out yourself, please pause the video, try to work it out yourself, and then come back to the video and see if you got the answer right or not. Okay, so here's the question. The first, the sum of three numbers is 66. The second number is twice the first and 6 less than the third. Okay, so find the numbers. In this case, you see we don't have x, we don't have y, we don't have anything basically. What do we have in this question? My goodness. So what do? We have to figure out what's going to be the x in this case. So it seems like we have a lot of descriptions based on the second number. So why don't we say let x be the second number. So x is our second number, okay? We know that second number is twice the first number, right? So second number is 2 times larger than first number. So what does it mean? What does it mean for us? How can we show the first number? Well, we could say that first number is equal to, so if it's larger, right? So the second number is 2 times larger than the first number. So if we divide it by 2, you would get the first number. So again, x is the second number, first number is x divided by 2, and finally the third number. So second number, we know second number is 6 less than third number. Yeah. So what does it mean? It's 6 less than third. So it means if we add 6 to the second number, we will get the third number. All right, because it's 6 less. So when we add 6 to second number, we get the third number. Yeah. And we know the sum of numbers. We know is 66. So all these three numbers, so x plus x divided by 2 plus x plus 6 is equal to 66. So again, this is second number, this is the first number, and that's the third number. Remember, so please make sure that you remember that x is second number, okay, not the first one, not the third one, right? X is the second number. Make sure you remember that. So x plus x divided by 2 plus x plus 6 equals to 66. Well, let's try to figure it out. So x over 2 is basically the same thing as half of x, we could say. So we have x plus half of x plus x. So together it gives us 2.5x, right? Again, so we can write this, let's write it like this. So let's say this is 0.5. It's half of x. Okay, so let's make it a little bit less confusing. So it's first number is half of the second number. Right? Okay. So 2.5x we get together. So this is our x's, right? Together is 2.5x plus 6 equals to 66. All right, we can subtract 6 from both sides. We will get 2.5x equals to 60. And finally, if we divide both sides by 2.5, 60 divided by 2.5, what is it going to be? It's going to be like 24. Yeah, it's going to be 24. That's right. So x is equal to 24. Right. Is it the final answer though? No, this is not the final answer, because remember what the question is asking: to find the numbers, right? They don't tell us find the second number or find the third number. We have to find all the numbers, okay? So second number is 24. It means the first number is half of second number, right? So we could say first number is 12, and the third number is 6 more than second number, so that's 30. So third number is 30, and this is going to be your answer, okay? So this is not the answer, that's the path to the answer, but the final answer is you have to list all 3 numbers. So make sure you understand what the question is asking from you. Okay, I think that's it for linear equations. I hope this makes sense to you guys. All of these notes, I think I will put them together in one PDF, and I will post them somewhere, Google Drive, I guess. That's it for today. Have a nice day, everyone.